Today, my friends, the world feels like a tightly drawn violin string, beautiful in potential, yet on the verge of snapping under the pressure of too many unresolved notes. And I want to take you with me across continents and through histories still being written to feel that vibration humming across the globe. Somewhere between the ancient stones of Jerusalem and the glass towers of The Hague, the idea of justice is being tested once again. Israel faces an extraordinary scrutiny, not from the usual tribunal of public opinion, but from the steely gaze of the International Court of Justice. The question isn't a simple one, though the reality on the ground is heartbreakingly clear. Should a nation be allowed to restrict aid to civilians caught in the crossfire of power struggles? Gaza, already a byword for suffering, finds itself at the center of a moral storm, one where law, politics, and humanity collide in a cacophony of urgent, unanswered pleas. When legal minds in black robes gather to debate the lifelines of starving children, one cannot help but wonder, have we truly learned anything from the countless pages of history soaked in the ink of human folly? But the universe rarely allows the heart to dwell in only one tragedy at a time. Across the shimmering waters of the Persian Gulf, Iran mourns a new catastrophe. A port explosion of staggering violence tore through Shahid Raji, reducing steel and stone to a wasteland of twisted memories. Dozens dead, hundreds wounded, and a nation once again questioning whether their lifeblood, commerce, trade, labor, can ever be made safe from the accidents or the invisible hands that so often trigger devastation. In a place where every crate and every cargo ship carries the dreams of families, it's the unseen fractures in society's foundations that now demand the brightest spotlight. The weight of loss and confrontation, it seems, is not content with one corner of the globe. Farther east, the powder keg that is the India-Pakistan border has begun to smoke once more. After a vicious terrorist attack stole the lives of innocent tourists in Pahalgam, an already fragile peace was shattered into dust. Soldiers now glare across the line of control, and politicians, those perennial architects of both hope and havoc, have chosen retaliation over reconciliation. The expulsions of diplomats, the suspension of agreements, it all feels like the cruel repeat of a story that somehow both nations never managed to finish or to bury. And as the guns rattle and the flags bristle in the mountain winds, the world watches, perhaps with weary eyes, or perhaps with the dread of knowing that sparks rarely stay sparks for long. And yet, even in the heavy folds of mourning and conflict, life offers a moment of solemn grace. In the eternal city of Rome, amid the grand echoes of history, the world said goodbye to a man whose life work was to bridge the divine and the human. Pope Francis, whose papacy blended bold humility with quiet revolution, has passed beyond this mortal stage. His funeral, drenched in both pomp and profound sincerity, became a gathering unlike any other, kings and queens, the devout and the doubtful, all assembling to honor a shepherd who tried, however imperfectly, to gather a scattered flock. Now beneath the silent gaze of Michelangelo's dome, the College of Cardinals must begin their sacred task, to choose not just a new pope, but perhaps a new direction for a church wrestling with its past and its future in equal measure. While the old world grapples with transitions and turbulence, the new world, as always, gazes upwards, and it is from the green hills of New Zealand that a surprisingly audacious melody rises. There, beneath a sky glittering with untapped promise, plans are being laid for a new frontier, a regulatory framework designed to shepherd the burgeoning space infrastructure industry. In a world where ambitions are literally leaving the atmosphere behind, New Zealand stakes its claim not by brute force, but by foresight and clever stewardship. A reminder, perhaps, that sometimes leadership isn't about having the loudest voice, but the clearest vision. And as markets sway nervously in Asia, their heartbeats tethered to the unpredictable drums of American trade policy, investors find themselves in a familiar dance, hope waltzing unsteadily with uncertainty. With major tech earnings on the horizon and policymakers caught between election year pressures and economic realities, the stage is set for volatility to become the only real constant. Yet behind every dip and every surge, the human story remains, a story of daring, dreaming, and often stumbling forward into the unknown. Today, as your voice of green ground, I don't just see a world drowning in bad news. I see a world trembling on the cusp of choices, some noble, some reckless, all inescapably human. And if there's anything history has taught us, it's that out of these tangled threads can emerge the most unexpected patterns of resilience, rebirth, and even grace. Now, I would love to hear what you think about these shifting winds across the world. What moves you? What worries you? What gives you hope? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. You know I'm always there, reading and responding. Because Green Ground isn't just a channel, it's a conversation, and you're the most important part of it. If you enjoyed riding this whirlwind of stories with me today, don't forget to like this video or podcast. Share it with someone who would love it too. And of course, subscribe so we can continue this beautiful, chaotic journey together. More information and details, as always, are in the description below. Dive deeper, ask your questions, and stay curious. Until next time.